Speaking of games never coming out,
Yeah, this could be a long section.
so the initial story, PlayStation has canceled 2 more live service games, both subsidiaries from Bend and Bluepoint. Bloomberg has learned it. People have been wondering what Bluepoint has been working on for the last couple of years. It's a live service God of War game. So that initially was then followed up with let's see here if I can pull it all together. Radek on Twitter pointed out that PlayStation was planning to release at least 12 live service games, and when looking at the full list, it's possibly even more than that. Only 3 have been released so far. 1 was released and quickly shut down. 7 have been canceled, and another 7 are being waited on. So there is a full list here of games that Sony have been live service games that Sony have been investing in and that are canceled to be determined or just outright shut down, taken offline, etc. It's a lot, man. Destruction All-Stars, Gran Turismo 7, Helldivers 2, all released. Concord, shut down.
Anti-released.
Fair Games, Horizon Multiplayer, Marathon, Horizon MMO, all to be determined. Then Media Molecule live service game, Bungie and Jason Blundell's LA Studio game, all 3 unannounced. And then Last of Us Online, canceled. Twisted Metal, canceled. Spider-Man The Great Web, canceled. London Studio live service game, canceled. God of War live service game from Bluepoint, canceled. Ben Studio live service game, canceled.
All right, so the Horizon MMO is also dead.
Horizon MMO, sure. Throw that on the pile.
So I'm going to hold up my hand as somebody who's played nearly every single one of the games that these are parts of the series. God of War MMO live service thing, whoever said that as an idea should have been thrown out a window. That is was always going to be a disaster. Horizon MMO, similar. Like for no one. For no one.
Main character driven narrative series, and then Nosgoth?
No one.
Yeah, okay.
So I talked about this on the Beast Guy. I was skeeting about it quite often, and I feel like, and I there's only so much you can put into a single skeet, but I feel like Destiny has been so remember when World of Warcraft, we talked about this, Street Fighter and Call of Duty and World of Warcraft, and everybody chases after the big thing and makes their their game, let's chase the trend, let's chase the bubble, right?
One leader, one imitator, 1/3 weird one.
Yeah. And it's been this thing forever, right? And so WoW was the great fire that swept through the industry, where everyone's like, you know what? Let's blow hundreds of millions of dollars and 5 years of dev time on an MMO that will immediately die, instantly, just crash and burn. And I mentioned Copernicus earlier, but there was a ton of them. It was crazy how awful it was. And I feel like Destiny 2 has actually surpassed it in this week alone, because you would see people talking about how their gas game should emulate Destiny, and even the ones that didn't, Sony literally said that they wanted their gas games to emulate Destiny because they bought Destiny and then said, hey, Destiny devs, go to these other live service developers and you will be the people to tell them how to do live service and to give them the lessons they need to do live service. But Destiny has always been on the verge of falling to pieces. The reason why Activision allowed Destiny to buy themselves out was because it wasn't making any fucking money. And so we're looking at like Concord alone. But then there's like 9 other games that were all in like multiple years of dev. Like, wait, what's Bluepoint doing? The answer is now nothing. The Bluepoint has now done nothing for multiple years.
So the trend chase feels like something that, while it's always been part of the industry, every once in a while you'd ramp up and perhaps make a huge expensive whoopsies, learn a lesson from that, and then heavily reconsider, right? Go back to the drawing board on it and look at what other angles or what other releases are currently working, or at the very least are floating and are sustainable. Because of the way the industry has been shaking out, and I think because of that discussion from a couple months ago about, like, once again ripping people's attention away from the free-to-play, and then the idea of like a video game, a AAA just cannot be profitable, a quadruple A just almost cannot be profitable unless the circumstances are perfect, it's become such a dire situation, and the desperation of like Sony looking and going, no, we must chase this live service trend, we must chase this, we must take it over, is like, it feels as if you're originally playing a game of poker where like the odds can go one way or the other, and as times have gotten worse, and as it's become more clear that like if you're making a game that's just live service on its own, and like there's no baked in audience, there's no initial appeal for that, if you're just kind of throwing a fucking gamble out there, it's basically going from playing poker to playing the lottery. And I don't know why a loss like Concord wouldn't make you drastically reevaluate fucking everything.
What has happened. Like Concord is the thing of like, wait a second, we could actually spend 2, 3, 4 more years on all of these, and for all of them to end up like Concord, and we're talking billions in losses.
So 17 games on this list is what we're looking at here, and the realization that the Concord path was the tip of the iceberg. There was an entire thought process that like, no, this is going to work out. And yeah, God of War multiplayer, Horizon multiplayer, all those things, like, it's the fact that the lessons are, I guess it takes a Concord level loss to have this massive correction occur, and it takes years for these projects to all shape out and such. But I just didn't think that it was that bad. I didn't realize that they were this committed to it and made a decision to essentially spend everything, right? Everything major first party related on this gamble.
I think there's a second part to this, which is more of a design ethic, and it's so the people making these decisions often don't understand games, and that's fine. Everybody knows that you don't have to actually understand your product at all to manage it.
Just look at what else is making money, and
right. But they don't even understand their product from an economic standpoint. And like, granted, I'm not an economist. I'm just like a dipshit that talks about video games on Tuesdays and does streams. But I do play a lot of video games, and I have played a lot of games as a service games, and that includes MMOs. And one of the things that anybody with a brain or touched an MMO at any point over the past like 10 years learned is that, it's actually really hard to play more than one gas game. It's really difficult because games as a service are designed to monopolize your time. And the way that their cosmetic or upgrade systems work for cashola is because you are spending all of your time with that one game, which means in the games as a service audience, every new game as a service that you release is chasing after a smaller and smaller pie. And that can be fine depending on what you're putting out. But why were they going to release 17 games that were all going to compete with each other?
Are you saying that the people interested in playing a Horizon live service game might also be the same audience as the people that are going to spend their time on a God of War live service game?
They are the exact same person.
And that you're dividing that pie into nothing? the same and the same non-existent person, of course, that we're describing here. Like,
I like PlayStation games, says person. So what does that mean? I like God of War and Horizon and Ghost of Tsushima and Bloodborne and Gran Turismo. Okay. How many of those can I play a week while hitting all my dailies? Because I mentioned 5 games. Can you blow out dailies and weeklies for a full gas game in 1 day a week? No, you can't.
This is, I think, looking at, like, this might be the craziest all-in, like, push
it's the biggest
I've ever seen in the history of video games. It's this is the craziest all-in push to the table I've seen.
Well, it's interesting because, like
this will, like, so, and you will see multiple live service games come and go popping up on a Steam-like platform, or such, as everyone independently is taking a stab at it and seeing if they can, grab a little bit of market share for themselves and get something going or so. But for Sony first party specifically to be bankrolling this level of, like, incestuous market, it's insane. It's the most insane thing. That, like, these are all super expensive games.
They already own Destiny, and Warframe is already on the PlayStation. So, like, right away, you are competing against those 2 games that already exist, and you own one of them, right? It is. So okay, let's think back.
Sorry, after you. No, I was just going to say, the other reading, when you see what...
And Helldivers. Oh, my God. I forgot.
Helldivers, too, yeah. When you see what looks like, this is such an insanely, bafflingly dumb level of commitment that you're like, the only other take here is, like, the situation is so much more dire than you think, that this was the right call for them to make at the time, or so they perceive.
The best time to stop is now. Sorry, the best time to stop was yesterday, and the second best time to stop is now.
Yes,
is clearly happening. I have a variation of that I love to say, and maybe it's lame that I think, but, like, there's the phrase, like, make sure to quit while you're ahead. I have been saying for a while, like, you can also quit while you are behind. Right? It's the variation of throwing good money after bad.
And I just say, staple the Square sales report story to this one.
Like, let's go back in time, right? Let's look at Fatal Fury and Street Fighter, which we know about. Hey, those fighting games are hot. They're hot as fuck in the arcades.
They're making a pretty...
Can we make one of those?
Yeah.
Bang that out.
Strike up the profits.
All right. Okay. Hey, you know what? Platformers. They're pretty big right now. 3D platformers. Can we make some of those? Yeah, okay. They're more expensive than fighting games, but, like, yeah, we can make an Ape Escape.
Sure can.
We can make a Sly Cooper. All right.
Here's Banjo.
Military shooters. Can you? Okay. Well, now we're talking. No, Call of Duty is pretty expensive, but we can do it. And, like, each of these trend chasers has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And chasing after WoW was crazy money, right? That was your studio killed itself money, right? And I thought that was the top. I thought that chasing after MMOs was going to be the top of money into the toilet on fire. But apparently, chasing after gas games, if you just chase after enough of them.
And to be fair to that first point, what 14 did was unprecedented in the sense that, like,
the only one to ever do it.
Yeah, they learned, like, they did 11, so they had enough of, like, an understanding of what they're going into with 14, saw how badly it was fucking up, and then just, made a sequel, but it wasn't a sequel.
It's complicated.
But anyone else, anywhere else, would have shut that shit down. Anyone would have shut that shit down.
14 got to do it? It was the same reason why Square was obsessed. They're like, well, it has the name Final Fantasy on it, so it can't be an absolute piece of fucking dog shit, because our investors are going to pull out their shares if Final Fantasy is absolute trash.
A numbered Final Fantasy cannot be a failure.
And so, hey, guess what? You know why they also got a fucking free pass? Because it's Square, and it said Final Fantasy on the fucking box. Most devs don't get that kind of fucking benefit of the doubt.
So yeah,
it is so it is so bananas.
The chase of live service, where it's like all the ongoing costs of your MMO with even more dev time and even more resources.
And you're competing with Fortnite. You're competing with all the MiHoYo games. You're competing with Marvel Rivals
now with NetEase, you know.
Like there's a part when like you're developing your game, and I have not developed a game, so I cannot speak to this. This is purely my own like emotional foresight or whatever the fuck you want to call it, where it's like, okay, we're making a game that is highly similar to an existing game. Is it better than that game? No. Does it have a unique hook that can hook people that other game doesn't have? No. Well, shit. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's just overall, you know, the discussion here and over time for the last fucking 5 years has just been like, all or nothing now is the only way. That's it. All or nothing. Everything is all or nothing. Spend hard, go big. Lose hard, go home. There's no semblance of...
If you're not first, you're last.
There's no semblance of smaller, stable releases. Again, you know, critical, darling, profitable, everything's like that. You just can't, right? It's a market that is just all it is. It has to be dethrone the gods or burn everything, or
It's really fascinating that you mentioned dethrone the gods, because there's two games that I think about when you say that. The one is Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter has been the king of its own genre and has been chased by like a fucking 20 imitators, and they have all crashed against the rocks of the eternal shore as Monster Hunter goes on to make infinity fucking dollars, right? Bankrolling Capcom. And the other one that I think of is a game we're not super familiar with, which is Tarkov. Mm-hmm. So Tarkov invented the extraction genre, mm-hmm. and like Marathon and shit like that. Like there are games that were supposed to chase Tarkov, but it has become clear that people don't like extraction games. They like Tarkov. That's the one they want to play.
I see. Okay.
The trend is already over. It's like not a game couldn't even release to chase it before it became clear that it's the one game.
As insane as it is to learn about this list, as you said, like, we're learning about it via the cancellations, and therefore the best time was really yesterday. You know, it's like we're not learning about it through 5 Concords in a row and then a confused stage show going, I don't get it. Why not? Kids, don't you love Kratos?
we don't. The past couple of years is like, where are all the Sony games? Well, we are watching them get burned in a garbage can in front of us in this news section on the podcast. You said 17 games are on that list?
17.
That is multiple years of first-party output that are just not going to happen now. Just not going to happen. This would be a great time for Microsoft to swoop in with their own first party. Jesus Christ.
Well, so this is... I was thinking it, but it's like, does the effect of this, like, does it make Sony suddenly basically sound like how Microsoft did in this generation, even though you
Microsoft
are still
puts their games out on Sony consoles?
Yeah.
There's I saw people talking about how Halo was the Master Chief Collection is fucking coming to PS5 by this year, and that's the end, man. If I see Master Chief fucking using X and square button prompts on a video game, that is the end of that shit.
I guess we just don't know what the hardware coffers look like relative to, you know, the upper ceiling of what they're willing to invest in studios for first party games here, and for quadruple A in particular. So I don't know how bad this damage is. You don't.
It's really bad.
It's really bad, but like,
the damage is in the billions.
But it's just like, how close are we to that magic pixel when you look at this? Because this sounds like death. Is what it sounds like. If you were taking that level and applying it to, like, there were less failures on the fucking big deal that just fell through. What was the goddamn company that was buying everything? Then the Saudi deal fell through.
Tencent?
No. With IDOS and shit.
Oh, the fucking
Embracer.
Sweeter.
There were
Embracer,
less corpses in the Embracer deal than there are in this. It's crazy. Like, this sounds lethal when I look at that amount of games on a fucking list but yeah, so I'm just like, I don't know, man. We're in the negative health values.
You know what the dumbest part is like, there's something that we neither of us, because we don't care about it, but like, we haven't brought it up once. It's like, hey, Sony, do you think any of these games are going to compete with Grand Theft Auto 5 online on your own console? No, they're not.
I don't know. Embracer burned like 100+ games. Okay. Then I'm going off of, I suppose, the vibes of the standout titles, the biggest titles that were part of that, the stuff that hits the wall, like Deus Ex and everything that IDOS released and everything that was
like the idea behind this live service shit from Sony was like the combination of multiple different styles of development that all took the worst lesson. So like, take like Blumhouse, right? They're like, well, we'll buy like 40 scripts for horror movies and we'll make them cheap because one of them will be Paranormal Activity. And Sony went, that's a great idea. You know what we should do? We should buy 17 games worth of dev time and then make them all the most expensive games we've ever made, and then one of them will maybe blow up and recoup its own losses,
and that's it, right? So like 10 years ago, when we were going, oh yeah, like, this gas shit sucks and this is dumb and it's going to take a lot of pain, but hey, eventually a lesson will be learned, right? Well, no, because the success one, the one that breaks out and makes gangbusters money forever, continues to exist.
We actually got to see what it would take to give up, and that is Suicide Squad and Concord.
Oh, out the window, never mind, undo. Yeah.
Like, oh wow.
Yeah.
There's
on all fronts.
There's a piece of dialogue from a movie I really like called Contact. It's based off Carl Sagan's book, in which they're building a big machine to contact aliens, and it gets blown up. The main character speaks with a rich benefactor, and he says, "Why buy one where you can buy two for twice the price?" And I think about that when I look at this nonsense fucking story. Why have one live service game that could do well when we could have 20 live service games that do? Think of how much more money we would make. Well, you actually lost. Yeah, you actually lost billions.
Right, because
and you wasted, like, think of the years of lost dev time on these projects.
So you got boy math and girl math, and now you have CEO math. Which is, if we can make 2 Fortnites, then we can have twice the Fortnite money.
That's true.
Right.
Listen,
of course.
Does Tomb Raider need multiplayer? No, but if we put all this money into making Tomb Raider multiplayer, we'll make that money back 5 times.
Corp math.
Is that true? No.
Corpo math. It all adds up. The numbers can't fail. Look at them. Oh man. Yeah, that's a lot of studios, man. That's a lot of big studios.
I feel the same talking about this story as I did sitting in my fucking parents' basement looking at Kaz Hirai say the phrase $599.
Discipline.
Like, it's the same exact emotion of, oh no.
We're committing to it. You will listen. You will learn. Yeah. This is this is the part where you go like, oh yeah, we're going to be feeling this for, and it's like, no, there's no end point. There's like, you go like, oh yeah, the damage is, no, it's that you untold.
Did you see
Concord on its own, we were freaking out at the amount of billions. Like,
yeah, times 17 or 16.
These aren't Balatro games getting canceled, you know.
Did you see Shuhei Yoshida's interview about this shit?
What'd he say?
He said, yeah, I would have told them not to do that shit. That shit's stupid, but that's probably why they got rid of me.
Got it. Thanks, Shu. Cool. For sure.
It's so big of him to be out and be like, I would have seen that shit coming. I would have told him. Yeah, sure, man. Whatever.
Oh, man. Yeah, again, you want to fucking... like, one could argue the cancellation is a response to seeing it coming, perhaps too late. You know? We're not looking at 5 Concord releases into unreleases.
Oh, hey, let's think about how awesome that would be.
Yeah, I mean, as far as podcast content goes.
Oh, man. It'd be fucking awesome, dude.
Trust.
Because, like, bro, okay, you remember Concord came out and everybody was just like, oh, I gotta get fucking on that Concord because I only got like 10 days worth of footage I can get, right? If there was a fucking Horizon MMO that came out, dude, I would no-like that shit for a month because you know it's never gonna last.
Just the influencer-only server energy. You know? Everyone online is filming a bit. Everyone is making their video essay or streaming to see what the fuck is going on. No one is playing for real. The Babylon's Fall shit. People are jumping off of cliffs and running in circles, and just everyone's got TTV in front of their name.
It's fuck. Hey, let me ask you a question. You ever play a game, a multiplayer game, and you see somebody with a TTV in their name, and you pull out your fucking phone, and you go watch them, and you beat their ass, and then you're like, all right, now let's get the live reaction.
No, I can't say that I have.
You can do that when you play Dead by Daylight. It's real sick.
Oh man,
it's sick as fuck. No, you don't stream snipe them. You stream eulogize them. It's great. It's great. I love it.
Yeah.